Hi, this is Allison Lee Rosenfeld, and you may know me as the voice of Bonnie from Pokémon, and you are watching Anime Egotists. Will you please take care of my big brother? Happy watching!
And welcome back to the Anime Egotists, where neither one of us should be considered the chosen one.
Nah, we might support them, or we might support the bad guy. I don't know which yet.
Yeah, jury's still out. Anyways, my name's Alex, and if a Pokemon ever kidnapped my mom, I'd be far more concerned for the Pokemon than her. She can take care of herself.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm Richard.
That's correct. And we're back with another Pokemon movie review. And yeah, we're kind of going in order in case you guys haven't noticed. So we're going to start with Pokemon, The Spell of the Unown.
Yep. So, all right. This one was my favorite one growing up. So I'm a little interested to see how you feel about it.
Yeah, that's correct. And let us know if you would like us to talk about Pokemon movies or animated specials, anything. There's not really a whole lot more to it than that. So should we just get started?
Yep. So, okay, so this movie starts out with Molly and her father. So two brand new characters introduced. And her they're the dad's reading kind of a book showing pictures in a book, a legendary Pokemon, and for some reason the Unknown are included in it, but that's a separate thing in of itself.
Yeah, and for some reason this makes an appropriate bedtime story. But yeah, Spencer seems like an okay guy. They seem very close, but Molly's mom isn't around.
Yeah, it's never exactly explained what's happened, but she's supposedly disappeared, is kind of for the feeling you get.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I thought, why can't they just say dead? They said Brock's mom was dead, only for me to realize, no, that's a little bit different.
And we'll talk about it at the end because if you watch the credits, you get more information. So
Which I did. But Dan Green, I mean Stephen Hill, he's reading to Molly and he's helping to search for the Entei and the Unknown. They get along really well, but he also gets called away because he works a lot. And I guess there's a butler in the house too, which it doesn't seem like the what, how do I put this? I understand that both her parents work a lot, but it seems like Molly would be kind of close with the butler, but that's not the case apparently.
yeah, and then there's Skylar, which look up the way Skylar is spelled here. It's just glorious, I would say.
Okay, let's see. Let's okay. So Pokemon the movie, Spell of the Unknown.
Yeah,
I'm scared. You're scaring me.
yeah,
Like the characters, Skylar. Oh, okay. Schuyler. What the hell is that?
yeah. I was just doing some research for this, and I saw that spelling, and I'm like, wait, what?
Somebody needs to be in jail for that. That is unacceptable. And his name in the Japanese version was John.
Yeah,
Four kids, you make my head hurt sometimes. But Stephen gets called away, and he gets kidnapped by the Unknown. And I gotta say, for somebody getting kidnapped, he is very much he's a little more okay with it than I would be. He's like, oh, what's happening? Where I would be screaming.
yeah. He gets pulled into the unknown's dimension, which I there's no other way to describe it. It's the unknown's dimension. And uh Skylar brings pick the laptop that they were using to do the research and the box that had the unknown tiles in it to the mansion.
And then Molly starts playing with the tiles.
And this awakens the unknown, which it's hard to tell if the unknown are mischievous and that's what's going on, or if they're just like evil in and of themselves, wanting to recreate the world in their own way. But
I mean, Johto's your region, don't you? Like you used Unknown plenty, didn't you?
I tried to catch all of them. I think I have all of them now, but
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But the interesting thing is Molly, when she has the tile, she spells out mama and she spells out papa, like and she says they're together again in a kind of heartbreaking scene. As
Mhm.
long as you ignore the fact that it's like, huh, mama and papa, that Molly sucks at Scrabble.
Yeah. But it while doing that again, it pulls the unknown out and they start creating Molly's dream world is kind of what it's described as.
Yeah, which
And
results in a lot of the area around her, the house and the house itself getting frozen.
yeah, but it's implied that it's more of like a crystal thing, not
Yeah,
ice, but it just kind of
frozen sounds better than crystallized. You know what I mean.
yeah. And um this is one that heavily uses the early CGI for the Pokemon series, like heavily uses it in these scenes.
Honestly, I didn't mind with my rewatch.
No, it actually doesn't look bad because it's used on the background more than anything else.
It's not as much in your face.
Yeah. Um, I think before we cut to uh our main protagonist and Ash at this point, it's cuts to his mom and Professor Oak's lab.
Oh no, this is when Entei appears and Molly's he accepts himself as Molly's dad.
Okay, yeah, forgot about that part.
Yeah. Then we run into Ash and friends, and oh boy, hey, and they run into a girl named Lisa. Brock asks her out, get shut down for one of the rare times. Like Misty doesn't even have to do anything, and they have a battle.
Yeah, I always really, I, I always seem to remember that Lisa does more than she actually does in this.
Uh-huh.
So she's just kind of introduced to be a challenger for Ash and to give him the Pokegear, the item in the Johto regions, which serves as phone, radio, map.
Which he never decides to use.
Yeah, it isn't until I think the uh, Hoenn region that one of the characters usually has whatever that gimmick item is.
Yeah. And well, she to be fair, she does have an important role. She beats one of Ash's Pokemon and then starts dancing with her Butterfree.
Yeah, uh, and we get a remix of the second Johto opening.
It's not as good as the original. It's not as good as the original Johto opening that would actually play in the theme songs, but I give them credit for trying.
Yeah, and I it's an interesting little battle because you get to know all of Ash's Pokemon real quick from this battle. It's animated actually quite nicely, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem is when they show the credits and the credits are in Comic Sans, and it once you notice it, you can't unnotice it.
I'm glad I didn't notice it.
Oh well, when you watch the movie again, you're stuck
I'll
with it.
notice it now.
Yep. But Ash ends up winning because he has to. They talk because and they end up talking about oh sweet God, Greenfield and how beautiful it is. They say that like 10 times throughout the movie, and it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this almost like look based on the description is very much like Amsterdam is described. It's supposed to have like these beautiful fields of flowers, the windmills, and some relatively large houses out in the uh, distance. And well, they crest the hill and they see that the house and most of the city is covered in the crystal ice stuff.
Yeah, and Team Rocket is there as well. Well, if Minnesota can exist in the Pokemon universe, and I guess then Amsterdam doesn't fully surprise me.
And this is probably their most minor role in the first few movies. They are really they're heavily there for comic relief.
To be fair, they legitimately address Meowth literally says, "Hey Jesse, do you think we'll get a bigger role in the next movie?" He literally says that.
Yeah. Uh, It's not. The thing is that it's not terrible because I enjoy them as in this role a lot.
Yeah. And they do play a role later down the line, but oh boy. Like they Ash's mom kind of sees everything and they're talking about Greenfield and Ash's mom's like, "Oh, how much more can Spencer go through?" And she sees a picture of Spencer and his family throughout the years, like when they were friends when they were younger. They were friends when like Ash and Molly were born. You get the feeling that they've known each other for a good while, which is why we never hear about them in the canon series.
Yeah, it from what we get in like one line, it's he was a student of Professor Oak when Delia was a schoolgirl. I think it's
Yeah.
literally like the line or something.
Yeah, I think he says something along those lines. Yeah, just a reminder, Professor Oak is a lot older than Ash's mom, so yeah, yeah, I'm not going any further than that. But Trace, we also get Tracy, and yeah, that's all Tracy does.
Yeah, he does. This would have been a good one for him to come in and be supporting Professor Oak in this process, but nope. I guess he stays back and takes care of the Pokemon in the lab.
To be fair, Professor Oak didn't do much in this movie either.
Yeah, he's there to try to help figure out what's going on with one of his students' kids.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Ash's mom and the I guess news crew, they all get to Greenfield and Delia says, "Oh my God, Pikachu, it's good to see you." And Ash is like, "Mom," she looks over and she's like, "Oh, hi, honey." Like she did not sound happy to see Ash.
Yeah, this was. She was more caring about Pikachu,
I still argue that she has her moments where she's not a fantastic mom.
but we get a scene of uh Molly watching the news with Entei, and she sees Delia and looks over and sees the picture with her and in it, and decides she really wants a mom and falls asleep, and Entei leaves at that point.
It's that easy, apparently. But Entei shows up. Entei shows up and I guess brainwashes Delia, and she passes out, and Entei runs off with her. And I do like this. I do like how Ash doesn't just feel like a minor part of the movie. Like he has a reason for being upset and being invested. Like it. I like it so much more than the last movie, where it's just like, oh, you're the chosen one because you're the main character.
Yeah, I so they kind of stop Ash at this point though for like one scene until it's night. Then Ash, Brock, and Misty sneak out of the Pokemon Center to try to get into the uh one. But I think is this also the point where we get the uh Team Rocket in the balloon?
Yeah, it sort of is, but they also make also make kind of a cringy joke about wading in the water, and I'm just like, wow, you guys have nothing to do in this movie. What are you doing? Wading versus walking, that's what it was. And then Entei tries to kill them.
Yeah, he jumps out of the crystal, I guess, and blasts them, and they crash into part of one of the towers.
Yeah, and I can't even really be all that upset because they've been through worse.
Yeah, but then back with the main three, I think I forgot what the girl's name is because she's so irrelevant to the series, but she gives them her Poke Gear,
Lisa.
Lisa, so that because she knows that they're going after Ash's mom.
Yeah. But during that period where all the stuff's happening, we see a girl named Lisa, Liza. Yeah, they couldn't have they picked two names that were way too similar. And she's hanging out with a bunch of Charizard. And there's one Charizard in particular that sees the TV screen, everything going on with Ash and friends. Wonder if that's going to play into the story later.
Yeah. So they go up this waterfall using Ash's Chikorita and Bulbasaur.
I love this scene so much. That's not even me speaking ironically, but in between it, Ash's mom snaps out of it because she sees Ash like almost fall to his death, to his quote unquote death. At that point, she's no longer brainwashed. And Bulbasaur and Chikorita do help him help the team climb up the. I just called it the castle.
Yeah, mansion castle thing.
Yeah. And they try using their Pokemon's moves to get through, and it's not working. So, in a really cool twist, they show no, not Bulbasaur, that Cyndaquil and Vulpix, yeah, Brock still has Vulpix, go figure,
Mhm.
or shoot their flames through the door, but before they can recover, they have Starmie and Totodot. It'll blast their water through it, and everybody gets through the door that way. Hey, I was like, wow, that was actually brilliant. I don't know which one of the three came up with that, but I don't know. It made our main characters look really smart in this movie, and that's always appreciated.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this one is at least with Ash, all of his Pokemon get little moments to shine because like Noctowl at least wins in that first battle with Lisa, uh, and it helps with like navigating through part of the castle at
Okay.
one point. But that's
Yeah, because
it.
I was about to say I don't remember what Noctowl did after that, but I'm glad you paid attention.
Yeah, well, I always liked this because I actually caught a shiny Noctowl when I was a kid because I didn't realize it was shiny. I thought it was legit that color because I only seen it in the anime.
I did the same thing with Oddish once. You're not alone.
So yeah, I really regret resetting that save file after all these years.
I regret a lot of things in life.
But yeah, so they've made it into the castle. I'm trying to think. There's the get but throughout
This
this
is when they
point,
start going up those. The whole fit place starts turning kind of into a garden inside. And it's also they get so few moments, I have to acknowledge it. Team Rocket see the unknown, and James says the iconic quote, I haven't seen this many strange letters since I placed a personal ad, which okay. Oh, I love you, James.
yeah, that unfortunately heavily dates this movie because
It does. A lot of things 4 Kids did back then. It was like, ooh, you can't say stuff like this now.
but uh yeah, so pretty much Molly talks about wanting to be a Pokemon trainer and uh she like a dream version of Molly is created and
Yeah, which to me this was a little on the weird side because I'm like, it's like, but I'm too young. I'm like, have you seen that preschoolers are having Pokemon battle? Well, she hasn't played Pokemon Black and White, has she?
none of them since probably Gen 3, maybe. And even
S-
then they have school kids.
Still, it okay. Hey, but she gets transformed, and Brock immediately figures out, oh, it's Molly. Which okay, hey, and Brock decides to hold her off, and Misty and Ash keep going. And like I've said, this legitimately is one of my favorite battles. It feels like for a series about battling, it feels like the movies themselves don't get that many just straight up battles, but I really like this, even if it's just mainly Brock getting destroyed. I don't know. It's always been one of my favorites just because it's so unique.
Yeah, and I like that they explained that because this is Molly's dream world, her Pokemon are like pretty much the equivalent of being the protagonist of the game's Pokemon. They're already better than the run-of-the-mill day-to-day trainers Pokemon. You can one or two levels can make a big difference, and you're kicking butt pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's just not. It's nice, and Brock even kind of picks on himself because he's losing, and then he's like, "You're not. You're doing well. It's time to rock and roll, like rock with Onyx." And she's like, "Huh, that's funny." It's like, "Hey, that's my first one of the day." I'm like, "That shouldn't even be a win, Brock. That was not that fun. You could do better, Brock. You're funnier than that."
But yeah, so unfortunately, well, for the plot, I guess it's fortunate, but unfortunately, Brock loses.
I don't know how it would have worked had he won, but I get it. And she used a Flaffy, and a Teddy Ursa. Remember one of those Pokemon for later.
Yeah, and then uh, because and uh, it's Ash and Misty are continuing up, and they enter kind of a beachy area.
Yeah. And Ash's mom even asks Molly, like, is it tough being all alone? And you get some really good moments. Like, even though she's the quote unquote the villain of this movie, you can't hate Molly. She doesn't know what she's doing. Like all of it, like she doesn't. They do a really good job of making you feel sorry for Molly.
Yeah, she's a 4 or 5 year old kid whose parents have both disappeared on her, and you can tell based on how the adults around her react at the start of the film that they are nervous and not hiding it well for her. So
I was gonna say, I especially like how there's no adult or even it's not even team. They don't even do like a Team Rocket. Oh, we're gonna snap at this girl for everything they put you. Like everybody's legitimately trying to help. It. I like how there's no core villain of this movie.
no, yeah, because pretty much the unknown are trying to give her her dream world, and Tay is created and uh by the unknown to fulfill part of that because she associates Entei with her father, so he's acting as her father.
Yeah. Yeah. But and then we do get Misty saying, "Hey, I'll hold off. I'll hold them off. Let's go." Oh, and she uses a Kingdra and a Mantine. Yeah, and Misty at one point uses her Goldeen. M M M Misty, you're not trying today, are you?
Well, this would have been before she probably had Corsola, and she probably still had Starmie.
Well, I was about to say, but she caught Corsola in the first series, didn't she?
Corsola was uh Rural Islands, so that would have been partway through the second season, which would have been uh
Yeah,
hadn't happened yet in the
yeah, but
series.
what about flipping what's it called? Psyduck.
It couldn't swim.
It was the water wasn't yeah, that's I don't know.
Yeah, I if she'd sent Psyduck out, it probably would have drowned, even though it wasn't real water.
That upsets me. That upsets me a lot.
That would have been an absolutely hilarious joke because that's exactly how they portrayed Psyduck throughout the entire series.
Okay, I'm just checking. You were I hate admitting this. You were right. She didn't have Corsola yet. Okay, so I have to give you that one.
Yeah, it's I think about as I said, it's during the Whirl Islands. I know that it's early on in that kind of arc.
Yeah, yeah, and we also get the line where Meowth says, "Jesse, you think we'll have a bigger role in the next movie? You will, Meowth, but it won't be worth it." But Ash gets up and sees his mom. Molly wakes up around this time. Entei starts being the snot of Cyndaquil and Totodile, and Ash falls to his death.
Yeah, that ah so Molly kind of has a freak out when Ash shows up and he's like, well, she's my mom, but you can come with us and we'll try to make the world better for you in the real world. And she's like, no, it's just me and my papa and my mama and me kind of
Uh,
thing.
To be
Over and over again is kind of her mantra at this point in the movie.
to be fair, if Ash Ketchum ran into my house and tried to broke into my house, I would be pretty upset too.
But as you said, he Entei overpowers Ash's Totodile and Cynical pretty easily.
Which makes sense.
I think doesn't it battles Pikachu a little bit here, but Pikachu holds its own a bit better.
I think so. I don't know. Oh, I was kind of just waiting for. I know what's coming next. I know it's do it. I dare you to do it at this point. And then Ash falls to his death, or so it seems.
Yeah. Remember that scene we mentioned earlier with that seemed to be some random woman and a whole bunch of Charizards? Well, that one Charizard that was watching TV was Ash's.
Yeah, that Ash's Charizard comes back. Some people might want to argue about, oh, so he just happened to show up at the last one. I'm like, we're about to get Entei versus Charizard. Sometimes I don't care if something makes sense or not. If something is cool enough, I don't care because this fight was awesome.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, we get kind of speeches between Ash and Entei where both are taking different sides in the argument of what's best for Molly.
Yeah. Yeah, the fight lasts a lot. Actually, the fight lasts a little bit longer than I expected it to. Entei wins and it puts its paw on Charizard's neck and it's about to put Charizard on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's actually very violent for what you for a Pokemon movie,
Yeah,
especially this point in Pokemon.
and throughout this time, Molly is listening and she's kind of realizing just how kind of twisted this whole thing is. And she runs over and stops Entei and says, please stop, no more fighting. And we get the traditional Pokemon weren't meant to fight. not like this sort of thing, but it really does work in this case.
Yeah, because Entei was about to kill Ash's strongest Pokemon pretty much at this point.
Hey, he didn't have his Palpitoad yet.
We're still a couple generations from there. What, three, four,
Yeah,
7 seasons, 8
yeah.
seasons?
It's not as Lucario. His Lucario is not it. But Molly begs and pleads, and Entei does do their best to kind of show them out. And then Ash sees all of the. Oh, we forgot something.
Yeah.
Hey, Ash ends up almost dying again,
Mhm.
and Misty, Brock, and Team Rocket all save him.
And they talk about being a found family kind of thing.
Yeah, do you want to know the line they said that really stuck out to me?
Go ahead.
He told Meowth said to Ash, "Without you, kid, we'd be out of show business." And I'm like, "Oh, that holds up. That doesn't hold up well."
Yeah, because they haven't shown up in the new series, as far as I'm aware.
They have not. The second Ash left, Team Rocket left, which that's yeah,
But yeah, so pretty much that whole that they sent Ash out once, they almost sent him out again is pretty much what had
yeah,
happened. So
yeah. They find the Unown. Ash tries body checking it like he did with Mew and Mewtwo, which worked out so well that one time. And Charizard tries doing it, which proves, I guess, a Pokemon's only as smart as its trainer. And Entei, with the belief of Molly, like Molly believing that he can do it, it defeats the Unown and sacrifices himself.
yeah, we we're kind of skipping over. So pretty much Molly wishes to end the whole dream world and let everything return to normal, but it's pretty much the Unknown have built up so much psychic power, is what it's described as, that to create the world that they've actually lost control, so they can't fulfill that dream anymore.
Man, if Unown could do stuff like this in the video games, nobody would ever not use them.
Yeah, I had an idea like, wow, they really should have had a gimmick where if you had like a certain number of Unknown in your team, you got like it's kind of like pickup, but it's just but it like if you do a whole team of Unknown, you can get really like nuggets and stuff because it's what do you need right now kind of thing. So you
Yeah.
get potions and stuff as you need them.
Yeah. Or heck, remember that Journeys episode where all the Magnemite were coming together? It's like, well, if we don't stop them now, they'll all evolve into this one giant Like, look, we all wanted Francois and Ren to be together again and be best friends, but part of me is also kind of thinking, dang, if you get all the Unknown together, they could combine to some cool creature. I would love that. I would actually go out of the way to catch all of them.
Yeah, but usually you only get like some like upgrade to your Pokedex saying, "Hey, now you can look and see all the little pictures of the unknown."
Yeah, yeah. But what there's one little nugget I noticed. I don't know if it was intentional or not, because if it is, it was brilliant.
Okay.
When Entei first appears in front of Molly, she keeps calling him Papa. Calls him Papa all the time. But after she goes through all of this, and after Entei defeats the Unknown before he vanishes, she doesn't call him Papa. She calls him Entei.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I thought that was a brilliant touch.
Yeah, it's kind of her story arc of it of accepting that she has to move on with her life at this point, which she doesn't because her dad is still alive, but we'll get to that.
To be fair, it would have been a super dark movie if it just ended with her having no parents. I'm okay
Very
with
true.
a happy ending here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just yeah, no, it makes sense the way they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything returns to normal. They call Greenfield beautiful again. And Ash and friends reunite with his mom, say goodbye to everybody. I don't think they give Lisa her Poke Gear back, so she's SOL on that.
Brock stole her number, and so she didn't want it back because he kept calling.
That's sad but true. The Unknown go away, and Dan Green, I mean Stephen Hale, comes back. And if you looked at the credits, Molly has a Teddy Ursa.
Yeah, so if you watch through the movie, or through the credits, you get to watch Ash and his friends leave Greenfield, and then they cut back to Molly, and uh, we already know her dad's alive because we get that when the Unknown go back to the temple area that he was exploring. But uh, you get to watch her and Teddy Ursa playing in the fountain where they first kind of break into the castle.
Yeah. The same what a Teddy Ursa, just like the one she had in her dream world.
Yeah, so she has that, and then we get well, her mom walks in.
Yeah. She walks in and doesn't even seem all that phased about disappearing all that time. I doesn't see like, and I maybe they have a conversation about it later, but let's think about this. She disappeared. We don't know why she disappeared. We don't know how she got back. We don't know why she's so cool about it. And truth be told, I don't really care because this movie was awesome.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in one thing, and that's look up the Rotten Tomatoes score of this movie.
Oh no, well they're wrong. They're wrong. Whatever it
Yeah,
is, they are wrong.
well, the audience score is low, like lower than the other ones of this era. And this was my favorite one growing up, and it's still probably one of my favorites of the Pokemon movies.
Rotten Tomatoes. I forgot how to spell tomatoes at one point. Oh, sweet God. They're wrong.
Yeah, this is one of, in my opinion, the most enjoyable Pokemon movies. This is one that has a lot, but it tells a complete story without making Ash the chosen one.
Exactly. And it tells a good story. Loss is hard, growing up's hard, and letting go of stuff's hard. But if you put up your walls, if you push people away, it's only going to make you more miserable in the long run. And it really kind of reminds me of Persona 5 Royal's end story. The only difference is at the end of this movie, I was like, I really hope Molly sees the truth. At the end of Persona 5 Royal, I was like, oh, I'm kind of on the bad guy side, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with this one, there's not really a bad guy, so you can't really be on unless you're on the unknown side. They're like, okay, well, the dream world might be that, but then you have to support Madara in the Naruto world. And
No. Oh, I want. We'll talk about Madara more one day. But this movie, in my opinion, a lot of Pokemon fans say it's one of their favorites, and I love to have unpopular opinions, but I can't do that here. This movie is awesome. Highly recommend it.
yeah, it's as I said, this one was the one I loved watching growing up. I seem to remember as a kid watching this on Cartoon Network for the first time because I didn't get it. My parents didn't take me to see it in the theaters, and I seem to remember the commercial breaks for this. One of them was right after Ash is shoved out the window for the first time.
I have a similar experience with a future Pokemon movie. We will get there when we get there. Trust me, I'm going to remember it.
But yeah, I very much seem to remember that he gets pushed out the window. Commercial break. It's like, oh my God, Ash is falling to his death, and you cut to commercial.
When you were a kid, did that upset you, or was part of you like, "Yeah, I want to see the body"?
I think I was like, really, we're gonna cut here, kind of thing. But it was like, I don't know. I was a kid who really got connected with uh the different trainers and stuff, so and different characters and shows. So I think I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like, it has to come back. How is Ash gonna survive? Or are we starting out with a new protagonist?
The movie just ends with Hash on a t-shirt.
Ash
Oh,
is
here.
impaled on the on one of the towers. Just
Oh, good God. Oh, here we go. This is the only Pokemon movie so far that does not feature a new Pokemon.
yeah, because I guess we would have because Mew, I guess, was the oh no wait, what was the Gen 2 Pokemon that was revealed in the first one?
I
Or
don't
was it
know.
Mew? It might have been
I'm
Mew.
on Bulbapedia. I'm taking their word as fact.
Yeah, but I guess it would have been it might be Mew, and then it would have been Slowking in the and Lugia in the second movie. So
Yeah.
yeah, this that makes sense. Then this would be the first one not to introduce a new Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, it's a really enjoyable movie. I really don't have any, oh, well, they could have done this or they should fix it. Like, no, like this is one of the few times where I'm like, no notes, no improvements. You guys did great. Good job.
Yeah, this one is a I And I love Team Rocket's ending for this. We haven't discussed their ending yet.
Oh, goodness gracious. You want to take this one?
All right, so pretty much we cut towards the end of the film, up to one of the tower windows, and the police and everybody is showing up just to check on the situation. And Team Rocket's like, "Well, we can't escape right now." So, and they talk about pretty much everything they talked about in this movie is like wanting a bigger role and all that. So it's pretty much more of that sort of thing. It's just this little enjoyable scene to end the film on the comedic relief, and it works. That's the thing with this.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. According to this, in the original Japanese version, Spencer Hale's wife was hospitalized.
That I feel like might have worked better rather than just disappeared like they do in this film.
Perhaps I can understand to an extent, but that's like the pick. It's like the pickiest of dits, though.
I mean, I if they had made it a bigger deal about her having disappeared, besides one line, like because it's literally, I think when Spencer disappears and they show up back at the mansion, they mentioned that she disappeared like a year ago, and now he's disappeared. What's the young miss gonna do? And that's it. That's literally the end of it.
I swear, her and Geo from Mega Man Star Force really need to find a therapist or something because this is heartbreaking.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing. So Skylar and the butler then proceed to leave Molly completely alone right after telling her that her father's disappeared.
Anybody with Skylar spelled that way, can't be a pleasant person. I would leave my child alone with him either.
You would leave your
I
child?
wouldn't.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No, I wouldn't leave you alone with it. That's that. Now, okay, no. That's the worst part about this movie. How they spell Skylar. Now I'm angry.
Yeah, as I said, I found that spelling, and I'm sorry if your name is spelled the way it's spelled in this movie, but it just there's so many extra letters.
It's a choice. That's for sure.
Maybe it's the German spelling. I don't know.
But anyways, Pokemon Spell of the Unknown, Entei, love it. Besides odd namings of spellings of Skylar's side, really enjoyed it. To next time, well, not next week. We're not reviewing the next movie next week, but for the next Pokemon movie, Pokemon Forever. Oh,
Yeah, this was the first one that I don't. It took me a while to watch this one, so
yeah, Pokemon Forever. We're gonna have some stuff to say about it.
yeah, I've got to sit down and really rewatch this one. I remember bits and pieces of it that not like the first three, which I know by heart.
And then Pokemon Heroes, which every time I watch it, I feel differently about it. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I sometimes I really enjoy that one, and then other times it's like, wow, this is boring.
Yeah. Yeah. Jirachi Wishmaker, of course, I remember liking it.
Then we'll have Destiny Deoxys after that.
I remember that one has a soft spot for me. So I can't fully hate, even if it was terrible, I can't fully hate it. And Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. That movie's also very good.
And then Alex's favorite.
And then the Mirage special. Got it.
No,
No,
Temple
seriously.
of the Sea.
Temple of the Sea. So the worst Pokemon. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that's the part that I think would really piss you off is compare this one's Rotten Tomato audience score to that one's audience score, and that
No.
pissed me off.
No. I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to be positive this episode. In all seriousness, though, the Mirage special, every time I see it, I forget it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the first thing that they did with the transition of voice actors. So,
Yeah, I do want to give it a chance because I feel like you and I sat down, watched it together, and we talked about it for like 2 minutes and then never talked about it again.
yeah, but we got a ways to go if we're doing kind of the specials in order as with the movies or whatever we want to do. It's up to us. We'll figure it out.
There's also the mystery dungeon stuff, the Pokemon range. We got a lot to do.
Yeah, and more coming. Maybe who knows?
And I still want to review the Boruto. I got like 10 minutes into the first Boruto movie. I remember we all watched it together. I want to watch it again and review it.
I mean, that could be something. We could watch all the Naruto movies and
I've only seen 2 of them, full disclosure.
I watched all the original ones all the way through when they were on my Cartoon Network. I don't remember if I've seen all the Shippuden ones.
Most of them are on Netflix from what I believe, so that should be super easy for us.
Yeah, so maybe stay tuned. Maybe we'll be doing a lot more reviews of anime movies.
Yeah. And stay tuned. We might have some people on, maybe, if we have any friends, which I mean we don't, but we people who are bored enough and feel sorry enough for us. But Spell of the Unknown, any final notes before we close out?
No, this is just a very enjoyable one. It is a bit slower paced at the start, but I do still really enjoy it.
Exactly. Really enjoy it. If you've never seen this movie before, whether you're a Pokemon fan or not, I think you will get a kick out of it.
Exactly.
All right, we ready to close out?
I believe we are.
All right, so ladies, gentlemen, and others, what do you guys think of the third Pokemon movie? Was it your favorite? Have you never seen it? Do you not like it as much as everybody else? That's fine too. Just let us know.
Yeah, and I mean, do you agree with the spelling of Skylar here? It's just amazing.
No, I don't agree with it.
But in all seriousness, do you like this movie? Do you feel like it could be better? Do you feel it could be a lot worse? Which, yes, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, but just let us know. And any other anime movies or specials that you'd like us to review together, just let us know. Put it in the comments. And as usual, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be good to each other and yourselves. We'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.